All right, here we go. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. And coming up here on the show, we have a major Robert Saleh update on this Wednesday morning, January 22nd. A prime candidate for that Jags head coaching job has backed out. What does this mean for Saleh? What does this mean for the San Francisco 49ers and their pursuit of him to replace Nick Sorensen as the team's next defensive coordinator? We're going to break it all down, that and a whole lot more coming your way. But this is why you subscribe to the channel, because when news breaks, when there's developing storylines, when there's a big report or a big rumor, or if I just want to pass along some Niners opinions and analysis, I always have you covered, and the 49ers Report is here for you. So hit that sub button. We're approaching 156,000 subs. Lock us in today. Our sponsor for today's show, making the 49ers Report go, our friends at Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app in the game, and it's the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. The big game is almost here. It's now or never. We have 3 football games remaining until we look forward to 2025. Don't miss out on the last few football games of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big games. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks only needs to throw for 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you win real cash. You can also check the promos tab to tail any of our Super Sweat Millie winners, big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Some picks that we like for this upcoming weekend, it's Championship Sunday. Jaden Daniels, a special here, more than a half passing yard. Easy money. Terry McLaurin, more than a half rushing or receiving touchdown. And A.J. Brown, he finds pay dirt as well, more than a half rushing and receiving touchdown. Pick more, pick less, pick Prize Picks. Run your game with Prize Picks at prizepicks.com/CLNS. And right now, when you play $5, you get $50 instantly. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All right, let's talk some Niners here on this Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out here with me. Thanks to Prize Picks for making today's show possible. The breaking news this morning from ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is this. Buccaneers offensive coordinator Liam Coen is taking himself out of the running for the Jaguars head coaching job to stay in Tampa on a new contract that will place him amongst the highest paid coordinators in the National Football League. So the Buccaneers are keeping their offensive coordinator. Baker Mayfield had said a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to take Liam Coen to a golf course, and I'm going to try to convince him to stay with the Buccaneers after I just had a career year. Looks as though Baker may have shot well on the course that day, and he convinced Liam Coen to stay with the Buccaneers. This comes after what we talked about on Tuesday here on the show, that the Bucs, according to Rick Stroud, who's a great beat reporter covering Tampa Bay, had reported that the Bucs were preparing for Liam Coen to be offered the Jaguars job, and he was set to have a second interview on Wednesday. Here's what Stroud said on Tuesday. Coen could be offered the Jags head coaching job possibly as early as Wednesday when he interviews for the second time with the club. Doug Pederson fired after 3 years and a 4-13 record in 2024. Jacksonville also has scheduled second interviews with Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham on Thursday and former Jets coach Robert Saleh on Friday. But there's a growing belief that it's Coen's job to lose. Not only were the Jags impressed with the 39-year-old OC when he interviewed virtually a week ago, he's also most equipped to resurrect the career of quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Isn't this pretty telling that two of the top offensive minds in this coaching cycle, Ben Johnson and Liam Coen, have turned down this Jags job? What does that say about Trevor Lawrence? Very interesting. For those of you who don't know about Liam Coen, he is a rising star on the offensive side of the football in the coaching industry. 39 years old, Buccaneers OC last year, replacing Dave Canales, who did a good job with Baker Mayfield in 2023, then resurrected Bryce Young in his first year with the Panthers as the head coach. And Coen continued that momentum and led to Baker having a career year during the 2024 campaign. What was also impressive, on top of the window dressing, the pre-snap motion, the creativity, and a successful passing game, was this physical and very efficient Buccaneers rushing attack led by Bucky Irving. And Coen is putting together a pretty good resume here. He developed Will Levis at Kentucky, which allowed Levis to have a really good junior season, where if he would have come out after that year, probably would have been a high first-round pick. Went back to Kentucky under Mark Stoops, struggled a little bit his final year, and then slid down draft boards. The Titans took him. Hasn't had a good career, but at Kentucky, people were very impressed by the prospect that he was, in large part due to Coen. And then, of course, you see the fingerprints of Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, all across the NFL. Coen was the Rams offensive coordinator a couple of years ago, back in 2022. If I was the Jags, this is the route that I was trying to go. Hire Coen, get Trevor Lawrence back on track, and you pair him up with the young offensive mind to try to get his confidence back and to get his play back to what we saw at Clemson, back to what we saw early in his career in Jacksonville. But that lack of confidence, injuries, have led to Lawrence looking and playing as though he's a little bit lost. But here's the issue. Jacksonville signed him to a 5-year, $272 million contract, and he's not living up to that. And Coen was the coach that I was identifying, in addition to Ben Johnson or Joe Brady, the current Bills offensive coordinator, as the best coach possible to maximize a player like Lawrence. Coen's work with Mayfield in 2024 led to Baker setting career highs with 4,500 passing yards. He threw a career-high 41 touchdowns, did lead all starters in picks with 16, but Baker was also very efficient, accurate, getting the ball out on time. And I thought that Coen took advantage of what the defense was giving Tampa Bay, and part of that led to Baker completing 71.4% of his passes. Of course, this is the 49ers report. How does this impact San Francisco? Patrick Graham will interview on Thursday. Robert Saleh, his second interview on Friday. According to some buzz, the Jags could also show interest in Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady. The Niners are in a little bit of a predicament here. They have put all their eggs and all of their efforts toward trying to hire Robert Saleh. San Francisco is willing to make Saleh the highest paid defensive coordinator in the sport. But what if he doesn't come to the Niners? What if he lands this Jags head coaching job? Linebackers coach there from 2014 to 2016, has a lot of fans within that building, and he's one of the favorites to land this gig. Even if he has to work alongside Trent Baalke, it's one of 32 jobs across the NFL, and Saleh, he might go from a bad owner in Woody Johnson to a bad owner in Shad Khan, right? But he didn't get a quarterback with the New York Jets. They never got it right. Now Saleh might be looking at Jacksonville saying, if I get the offensive coordinator hiring right, I get to work alongside Trevor Lawrence, something I never had the opportunity to do with a talent like that while with the Jets. Zach Wilson, I'm not putting him in that category alongside Trevor Wilson. Here's what I think might happen. If the 49ers whiff on Robert Saleh and he takes the Jags head coaching job, I think there's a realistic chance that Brandon Staley is going to replace Nick Sorensen as the Niners' next defensive coordinator. This would be a pretty uninspiring hire, and I think that Niner fans everywhere will riot a little bit because the 49ers have gone all in on Saleh with no backup plan. And bad and poorly run businesses operate like this. They don't have contingency plans. They don't have backup plans, where if plan A doesn't work out, they don't have a plan B. My thoughts on Staley, there's some good, there's some bad. He is a Vic Fangio disciple. He was alongside one of the best defensive minds in the history of football with the Chicago Bears, and then Fangio took him to Denver alongside him when he got the head coaching job there. Sean McVay is a coach who I trust when he evaluates coaches, and Brandon Staley was the Rams defensive coordinator in 2020 for a very high-performing defense. He can get very creative with his blitz packages and with his creative defensive mind on that side of the ball. But 2020 was also a really weird year across the NFL. No fans at stadiums because that was during the COVID year, and so a lot of stats were inflated. And then Staley used that year to land the Chargers head coaching job, but those Chargers defenses were not good. Of course, there is a chance that Staley just isn't a head coach in this league, and he can be a really good defensive coordinator. He did work with the Niners defensive backs in 2024. Deommodore Lenoir and Renardo Green, they played very well, but still, the Niners have exhausted all of their efforts with Saleh. They missed out on Lou Anarumo. Dennis Allen would be my second best choice. I think he's going to follow Ben Johnson to the Chicago Bears, and the Niners are left in a position where they were last year, where all of the best candidates were gone. They had to settle for Nick Sorensen. Now they might have to settle for Brandon Staley. What would your reaction be if the Niners hired Staley as DC? Let me know down in the comments section right now. I know a lot of people would be fired up. I talked about this yesterday, but a lot of people have reached out to me asking about DJ Reed, so I just want to run through it one more time and put together a YouTube short for the YouTube channel and then also put some content on my social media pages. Could the Niners go after DJ Reed in free agency this offseason? San Francisco is being linked to the cornerback formerly of the Niners, who has played very well the last few years with the New York Jets under Robert Saleh and the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco took him in the 5th round back in 2018. He played 31 games with the Niners. Then he was waived with a non-football injury designation prior to the 2020 season, latches on with Seattle in 2020 and 2021, played well enough to earn a 3-year, $33 million contract with the Jets. The thought here is that Deommodore Lenoir and Renardo Green are the Niners' cornerbacks of the future. But San Francisco desperately needs to add depth at that cornerback position because every other corner outside of Darrell Luter Jr. is going to be a free agent, and Reed is a great fit for what this organization needs and the scheme that they're going to run. He turned 28 years old in November. He has positional versatility where he can play inside or outside. He played 880 snaps with the Jets in 2024. 803 of them were out wide, and he was top 18 among all corners in completion percentage allowed, pass breakups, and he also had 6 TFLs. So he'll stick his hat in there, and he can perform well against the ground game. Overall Pro Football Focus grade in 2024 of 70.7, 43rd among 223 corners. A run defense grade ranked 43rd, pass rush grade 29th at 71.8, and a coverage grade of 70.1. Pretty good numbers right there. The dream scenario for San Francisco, hire Robert Saleh, sign DJ Reed, who follows Saleh to the Bay if he doesn't take that Jags head coaching job because he flourished under Saleh. Then you get a defensive end and a defensive tackle. Boom, this defense could be back. Be sure to give me a follow on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Let's get the 15K followers today on X.